So I have a TBR shelf with about 40 books on it. This came about because my friend and I kept going to use bookstores, and I would always leave with a handful of books. I then also had a job, two jobs, with a bookstore in between those jobs, and often time to kill between shifts, which resulted in buying more books. And then, due to the proximity of said bookstore, an employee kept bringing over the advanced galley copies and giving them to us for free. So I acquired quite a lot of books. I've been making an effort to get through those books recently, ignoring buying more new books and letting others languish on the shelf for years. Some of those books have been on that shelf for like 10 years. But I've made a lot of progress over the last couple of weeks through the magical power of just not bothering to finish them. One of the books I thought was going to be funny, but in the first three chapters there weren't any jokes, but there were a lot of misused thesaurus words. At one point, he tried to describe a room by saying that it had a lot of like drapes and stools and all this other kind of stuff, but he described it with a word I've never seen before. And when I looked it up, the word's primary definition is a harem. So he was clearly using a thesaurus to try and come up with different descriptions for things and using them wrong. So DNF. Then I tried to read a book that uh, just started out good, but got really boring. And there was one chapter that started with a two-page paragraph. One paragraph over the course of 2 pages. And there was supposed to be like time travel and adventure, and it just wasn't happening 40 pages in. It was just focusing on some rich boy and how he fell in love with a street prostitute. And there was a fairly graphic and gross sex scene, so it's DNF. Then I tried to read one of the free books I was given from that chap at the bookstore, but it was a YA enemies to lovers style book, and it's just not my thing. And in the first chapter, which is only 7 pages long, the main character thought of herself as wicked like three different times, just constantly thinking about how, oh, I'm such a wicked, terrible person. And I'm not here for that. And then I got super petty because the next chapter started telling me how old people were. And I don't know why that bothered me, but DNF'd on that. Uh, got to another one that I thought was going to be really exciting. I thought it was going to be like a fantasy setting version of The Mummy, but it was pretty mediocre. And one of the characters is the most annoying character I think I've ever encountered. This spoiled little princess. She's introduced when she's out slumming with her friends, gets recognized and captured by a group of assassins. Multiple people, three soldiers, two civilians, die trying to rescue her. Another person is executed just for not having a good enough alibi for being in the area when it happened. And the princess is brought back to the palace,